going to your happy place can remind you of how resilient you are and how far you've come. Hey, Survivor! Welcome to episode 118 of the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Have you ever felt the need to get away to clear your mind, reconnect with yourself, and find a fresh perspective? Well, in today's episode, I'm taking you on a journey to my happy place, Sedona, Arizona. This is a place that's been a powerful part of my healing. I'll share what I did, what I learned, and how you can create your own healing experience wherever you are. But first, let's self-regulate with a 4-4-8 breathing exercise, if you'd like. And I invite you to get grounded wherever you are. Stretch your neck a little bit. Maybe roll your shoulders back if that's comfortable for you. And we'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do you notice in your body? Grab your notebook and pen, and let's dig in. Hey, Survivor! Welcome to the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Do you want to disconnect from a narcissistic or toxic situation and heal? Are you Googling how to identify a narcissist, narcissistic abuse, and boundaries? Are you feeling stressed and lonely while trying to avoid being sucked back in and lied to again? Hey, I'm Lesley. As a busy wife and mom, I fell for the lies and manipulations of narcissists. I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. I wanted real relationships and business opportunities and to enjoy life with my family. Instead, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, and I couldn't trust my body or anybody until I took a holistic approach to healing. In this podcast, you'll find tips for healthy living, trauma healing, and boundaries so that you'll have the freedom, confidence, and inner peace to respond, not react, after narcissistic abuse. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and just relax. This time's for you. Last week was my birthday, and I had the opportunity to celebrate a few days early by traveling to Sedona for a day trip to meet up with my high school friend, actress and producer Sarah Clark, for the Sedona Film Festival. And there they were screening a film she produced called Bring Them Home. And this film tells the story of the Blackfeet tribe's mission to restore a wild buffalo herd to their ancestral land in Montana and bring healing to their community. And this was a theme that really resonated with me on a lot of levels. And quite frankly, I hadn't been to Sedona since January of 2020 during a solo retreat that was a pivotal part of my healing journey. And returning last week felt long overdue. And I realized that healing getaways don't have to be extravagant. Sometimes just a simple trip or an experience can bring clarity, peace, and a much-needed reset for the soul. That said, Sedona is a breathtaking desert town just south of Flagstaff, and it's known for its stunning red rock formations, canyons, forests, trails, and vortex energy. If you know, you know. And it's about 20 degrees cooler than the Phoenix area, which makes it a refreshing escape, especially when we hit triple digits. And people from all over the world come to experience Sedona's healing energy and explore nature and even engage in self-discovery. And whether it's through hiking, meditation, or just standing in the presence of these red rocks and all of its beauty, Sedona has a way of offering exactly what you need at exactly the right time. Here are 7 ways to heal in Sedona. Number 1, hydrating your body and brain with freshly harvested spring water. One of the first things that I did, and that I typically do when I get to Sedona, is to go straight to Harding Spring. There's a water fountain right off the 89 freeway, and collect water. And this water is amazing. It is known for its purity after being naturally filtered through the canyon rocks, and locals have been going to this fountain to fill up their water jugs for decades. And I love it. The taste, it's got all the minerals in it. Like, it's not like the RO water that we have at home where we've got to like squeeze citrus and add things to breathe life into it. So I filled up 4 jugs, my hydro flask, and a mason jar, because hydration is healing. Number 2, fueling your body with a nourishing meal. After I got my spring water from Harding Spring, I stopped at local juicery, one of my favorite cafes for whole food plant-based eats, and I enjoyed their avocado toast, and I had a glowing green juice, which was delicious, and I took a package of their peanut butter cocoa balls for the road as a snack. Just delicious. I highly recommend. It was the perfect way to set myself up for outdoor activities and just the day. Number 3, going with the flow by adjusting your plans. Stuff happens, and I am a go-go girl, I admit it. And initially, I was planning to cram in a hike before the film screening, but when I got to the parking lot at the trailhead, I asked a local lady her thoughts about how much time I had and whether I would be able to successfully complete the hike, and she was like, "I don't think you're going to make it." And so, because I found out I wasn't going to have enough time before the film screening, I decided to table it. And around that same time that I was talking to the lady, Sarah reached out to me, and she was like, "Where are you? What's going on?" And I told her what I was doing, and she was like, "Oh, well, maybe we can do it later." And I was like, "You know what? That's a great idea." So she's like, "Why don't you come over to the villa and we can get ready and head over to the film festival and we can go hike later." And I thought, you know what? That's perfect. So instead, I met up with Sarah at her villa, and we were able to get ready. I had my hiking gear on because I was all set to cram this hike in, but ended up going to her villa and changing and getting ready for the film festival and the screening. And it was a great way to just connect before the screening, catch up on life a little bit, and the timing was just perfect. And also, it opened up the opportunity for her to be able to join me in some of these outdoor activities that I had planned for the day. Number 4, making connections at the Sedona Film Festival. Watching Bring Them Home was just amazing. It was so moving, and it was well received by the audience. I know I gave it the highest rating that you could possibly give a film at the festival. And in addition to catching up with Sarah, I had the opportunity to meet and talk to one of the directors of the film, Ivy McDonald, and she's actually from a member of the Blackfeet Nation. And it was so cool to be able to hear Sarah and Ivy share during the Q&A period about how they came to get involved in this project and the significance of it for each of them, very different perspectives, and how it brought them together and others who were moved and whose lives were literally changed through this process of bringing these buffalo back to this reservation. And it was cool for me just to be able to be there and listen to the conversation and just even support their mission in educating people about the film and about the Blackfeet, and be able to take some behind the scenes photos and get some footage for them of the conversation and their remarks and all of that. And it was just a wonderful experience. And the film's themes of restoration, because not only were the buffalo brought back to the Blackfeet land, but the land itself was restored and the ecosystem was balanced out by the buffalo returning. So it was really powerful in more ways than one. And just hearing about the trauma healing, we're talking generations of trauma, and the community that was reinforced and really uplifted through this experience really resonated with me. And it was one of those things where I highly recommend that you see the film if you have the opportunity to do so. When it's all said and done, you're like, okay, well, where do I sign up? How can I volunteer? How can I help? It was just that moving. Number 5, getting grounded at the Amitabha Stupa in Peace Park. So after the film screening and Q&A, Sarah and I changed into our hiking gear and we stopped by this sacred site. It's beautiful. And it is the perfect spot for prayer, meditation, or just sitting in silence, maybe even setting your intentions. It was awesome just to see this place through Sarah's eyes and from her perspective, because she had never been before. There's a loop that you can walk there, and there are different points where you can sit on benches and just sit quietly, meditate. You can hear critters rustling in the brush, birds chirping. You can see the red rocks. There's a medicine wheel there, and there's signs posted throughout the park that explain to you how to take advantage of the features of this place. It's just awesome. So we were able to take that in, enjoy some time there. And it was just awesome just to let my thoughts settle and to just kind of calm my brain and body, even for a moment there. Number 6, walking through healing on a hike. Before I got to Sedona, I had consulted with the Hike House, and they are great for consultations on trails to explore, depending on what kind of scenery you want to take in, how much time you have, your skill level, your fitness level. I had talked to them about hiking a moderate trail with great views, and that I had probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if I pushed it. And they suggested Mount Sherman Trail to me based on location, time, and intensity. So because I had postponed the hike from before the film was screened, I was able to go on the hike with Sarah, and our time there was filled with deep conversation. We talked a little bit about the film, about our families, our goals, future plans, projects. It was just a great time. And again, it was so cool to just see and hear Sarah's response to these stunning views of the red rocks. You know, we could see Cathedral Rock and Bell Rock, and we could see the town from this vista. And it was just a great time. And at one point, Sarah was like, you know what, I just want to sit on this rock right here and just take this all in. And I got to tell you, it was so great having her on the hike with me versus me trying to crank it out on my own, because she literally stopped me in my tracks, like forced me to slow down and to really savor the experience and just to let it all sink in and enjoy the views, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the sun. There's something about walking in nature that creates space for clarity and connection in more ways than one, whether it's a connection to nature or a connection with someone else. Number 7, treating yourself to a delicious dinner. After our hike, I dropped Sarah off at her villa and I went on to make my way home. And I thought, let me get something to eat before I hit the road because I had a long drive. My longtime favorite cafe, Chocolaterie, had closed early that day. Womp womp. I was so bummed, and I did not do my research. So it forced me to think on the fly and come up with a new idea or new plan. And I got on Happy Cow. I keep that app on my phone for vegan spots and health food stores wherever I am. I also did some Googling to try to find a new spot, something that had plant-based options. And I found this place called Dei Piani, and it was right on the way out of town. So it was the perfect way for me to just get something to eat and then get right there on the road out of town to get on the freeway to go home. And I was pleasantly surprised that they had a plant-based menu with several options on it. I enjoyed their plant-based empanada platter and a delicious mango custard with toasted coconut on top, which was the only plant-based dessert that they had. I really enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend it. I'd go back, and I even mentioned it to Sarah because I knew that she had a couple more days in town. But it was so nice to just treat myself and also to just take time to reflect on the day and the conversations I had with Sarah, the film, all of it, the experiences along the way. It was amazing. So some of the things that I learned from this are that self-care in nature can provide clarity, improve strength, deepen connections, and restore hope. And it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Just making the time for yourself is enough. And I realized that I could have gone to Sedona sooner and more often. And now, as a result of this amazing day that I had last week, I'm planning to do quarterly solo retreats, just even for the day, to reset and check in with myself and my goals and intentions for the year. Isn't that exciting? So I want to encourage you to find your version of a healing retreat, whether it's a walk in nature, a day trip like the one I took to Sedona last week, or just spending time sitting still. And you can certainly do that in the comfort of your own home or in your backyard outside. And to not wait too long to do the things that bring you peace and to prioritize your healing. You're worthy and it's worth it. That being said, healing isn't a place, it's a process. But going to your happy place can remind you of how resilient you are and how far you've come. Remember, breathe, explore, let yourself grow. Healing meets you where you go. Thanks for tuning in, Survivor. Your healing starts with you. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. The fear is real when it comes to processing your experience. I know you feel stressed and exhausted with a pit in your stomach at the thought of being sucked back in and lied to again. You feel like a horrible person for going no or low contact, like maybe I'm the narcissist. The fear, self-blaming, and shaming is something we all go through as survivors. I want you to understand that you're not alone and you're not crazy. Every person who's ever been in a narcissistic relationship has felt what you're feeling right now. If this resonates with you and you're like, I'm done with fear, I'm done playing small, I know who I am, and I am not the narcissist, I want you to say yes. Today's the day. I want you to go right now to closeyourcoachingsession.com and I want you to book your call because we're going to do this together. I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to overcome this fear so that you can begin a long-lasting journey of healing. Let's do this. If this podcast has helped you understand who and what you're dealing with, sharpen your discernment, and move forward on your healing journey, share it with another survivor. Help me help others by leaving a review for the show. And let's connect on social. Take a screenshot, share it in your IG stories, find and tag me at The Vibrant Survivor, and I'll share your post too. I look forward to connecting with you on IG and seeing you back here. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye-bye.